Guys, I was wrong about the Meganex Superlight 8K. Now, if you've been on the channel for the past few months, really since I got this thing, I have been going through a lot of ups, downs, sideways, and everything with this VR headset. And it was even to the point where I threw it in the trash at one point. Now, obviously I got it out, but I genuinely hated this headset for a little while. And so obviously with a lot of changes, a lot of time passed, and after trying out other VR headsets like the Play for Dream MR, the Pimax Crystal Super, and a lot of other high-end VR headsets, haven't got a Bigscreen Beyond 2 yet, but I finally figured out that I was kind of wrong about this headset. So one real big thing made me go back to the Meganex, and that was really getting a 5090. So I finally upgraded after all this time because I'm trying out all these 8K micro OLED headsets, you know, excluding the Crystal Super and all these high resolution headsets. And I was like, okay, I need something that can power these at pretty much full power. So before I was rocking the 4090, and the 4090 is great, don't get me wrong, it's a good card, even great for all the headsets that I mentioned previously. But to fully max out the resolution of these headsets, you're gonna need some power. And so after a lot of deliberation and a lot of looking at my bank account, I finally got a 5090. And I must say that decision really changed my whole view and perspective of the Meganex Superlight 8K. And so this re-review is gonna be different from my other reviews. Usually I do a lot of B-roll, especially here recently, a lot of B-roll, a lot less A-roll like this. But this time I really wanna talk to you guys because the other Meganex review I did was just like this. And we're not gonna go over specs and stuff like that unless they're relevant to my points, because I mean, this whole, you can find the specs for yourself. I wanna talk about the experience. And so to kind of reiterate on things I had a problem with in the past, let's talk about comfort. So obviously the base strap for the Meganex sucks. And a lot of people have done their own 3D printed solutions. I even Velcroed mine to a Bobo S3 Pro strap with the fan, which was really nice, by the way. And I really regret undoing that. But I had to use the Bobo strap for another VR headset. But it was honestly a good solution for a while. And so comfort has been a meh issue for me. And I ended up changing it to and using this Bobo strap right here, which is just a regular bubble strap, without a fan or anything, and it's been holding up pretty good. I must say this honestly a little bit more comfortable than the one with the fan. I don't know why, because I mean it's pretty much the same strap, but I think it's just a little bit lighter. I must say that I ended up doing something really important, and that was I changed the wire that I was using for my Meganex, and I actually found out the wire that I was using, especially when I did my VR treadmill streams, that wire isn't good anymore. And now I did spend $200 on this wire, and I was like, bruh, there's no way this $200 wire just went kaput on me, but it did. Now I won't blame Shift All for this, and the only reason I won't is because I did use that wire during my VR treadmill streams. Now if you've been following the channel for a while or follow my TikTok and all that stuff, you know I do VR treadmill streams a long time ago, and I'm gonna bring those back after my son is born. But on the VR treadmill streams, I was putting a hurting on that wire. So I'm not mad at y'all. Not mad at y'all. That's on me. I take full responsibility of that, because most wires for VR headsets probably couldn't take the beatings that I put on a wired headset during the VR treadmill stream. I'm literally going in circles, turning around, all that stuff. So whatever. So after switching the wire for the headset and then plugging directly into the headset, not going through the dongle whatsoever or the little USB-C extender or whatever, I actually get a pretty good connection now. I don't have disconnection issues or anything like that. Now this is a headset that requires a little bit of a different Steam VR lighthouse kind of setup. So now I have 4 lighthouses in my room. So I have 2 in front of my desk, and I have 1 over there in the corner, and I have 1 mounted up to the ceiling in the back. So I have a full 360-degree coverage for when I play VR now. Now, is that necessary? No. Honestly, you can do 2, just make sure you have them at different angles so the Meganex picks up. But for me, using this, I just feel like it was the best solution. So honestly, my disconnection issues have been fixed now, so I can actually use the headset without me teleporting all over the room and stuff like that. I can actually also just play games. Like I can actually play Cyberpunk VR, which I've been playing mostly, and it's really fun. Now the resolution is 3552 by 3840, and that's some high resolution, and you see it. It's great. I've really been enjoying that resolution boost. I really wish, and this is one thing that I must dock them for, I wish the headset had eye tracking, man. Eye tracking literally would have set this headset off because it kind of needs it, especially when you're going through flight sim and all these other really intense games that people who buy these high resolution headsets play. But I must say, I've really been enjoying the Meganex experience. And something I have to admit, after using the Play for Dream MR, the Pimax Crystal Super, and the Meganex Superlight 8K, the Meganex has the best tracking out of the three. So for the Play for Dream MR, the tracking works. Now, it's not perfect. It's not good for precision, I would say. If you're playing like shooters and stuff like that, no. For the Crystal Super, the slam tracking sucks. So it's not good whatsoever for anything other than flight sim, in my opinion. Now, obviously experiences may vary and somebody may have a perfect Crystal Super experience with controllers, but me, your boy, nah. Now, the Meganex having those lighthouse track controllers kind of changes the game. And it does by a lot. So nowadays, usually if I throw a headset on for anything that's not flight sim and sometimes even flight sim, I usually throw on a Meganex. I mean, it's just simple, especially playing Cyberpunk VR. You got a very light headset. The FOV is actually really good now. So the experience is way better. I even found a distortion profile. And that was one of the main things that I hated about the Meganex as a base experience, that the distortion and warp was just really bad. And it honestly made the headset kind of awkward to use because things weren't one-to-one scale. Now, shout out to the Discord, shout out to S-Boy 3, the patch, the distortion profiles work amazingly. I'm using this guy, Essentia, he's in the Discord. He made a distortion profile that legit makes this headset, distortion-wise, look perfect. Like, it's genuinely a perfect profile for distortion, and it generally looks like any other VR headset. And I can honestly say it looks like a Quest in terms of just pure, everything looks to scale. Now, when you're using like a headset like the Pimax Super, you have, you know, those Spirit glass lenses, right? And so there can be a little bit of warping. Some things can't feel, you know, one-to-one like real world scale. But the Meganex has pancake lenses. So when things are to scale and they're perfect, it's nice. Because I mean, I've been in a lot of arguments with people on the Discord, like, oh man, well, my headset's perfect. And I understand them now. Now that I've upgraded, I can really use the headset at full resolution. I can say this is a 5090 VR headset. Now, it works at a 4090 and it'll work with other 50 series cards. But I felt like I was doing this headset a disservice running it at the 4090 settings. I generally feel like it holds this headset back and it needs that extra compute. And something I didn't mention in the Play for Dream MR versus the Meganex Superlight 8K comparison video I didn't mention the diopters. So obviously there's diopters on the side of the Meganex Superlight 8K. And it can be a bane to some people. And to me personally, I didn't like them. Now, personally, I would have just opted out of doing the diopters, but I understand why they did them for different people with different, you know, eyes, stuff like that. I just wish there would have been like a visual, like something that pops up on your screen that shows you your settings for your diopters. Would have made things so much easier. And speaking of making things easier, we got to talk about that software. So software was one of the biggest things about this headset that I hated. And okay, I'll give them credit. They have done a lot of updates. They added a 72 hertz mode for people who want to lower hertz, usually for flight simmers and stuff like that, race simmers. And they've done a lot of different things to make the ecosystem a little bit better. A lot more customization options, a lot more options that running that headset at 2K, 4K, stuff like that. I mean, it works, right? Now, upgrading the headset is a pain, and it took me so long to actually upgrade my headset, and I ran into a lot of issues. But after I got it done, everything works fine. I haven't had any issues. And for the S-Boys 3 patch, I haven't seen any big updates or anything like that in the Discord. I haven't seen much, but it still works. It's still great. Everything is still fine. Honestly, it does more than their actual compositor. So it's like, yeah. So overall, the software situation is better. I will definitely give them time. I think they're just kind of leaning into the S-Boys 3 patch, which I don't blame them because I mean, it's great software and it works. I don't know anything about the warranty and stuff like that, but I mean, it's better than nothing, especially for it close to $2,000 that this headset is. So overall, just kind of going over the points, tracking, the colors, and just the vibrancy of that display is just nice. It's very beautiful. That micro OLED just kind of hits. And another thing is the FOV is just great. I actually got a big boost in the FOV, and I'm gonna show you guys on the screen my before and after. It's a big jump, especially with the distortion profile, changing the head straps like I did. I'm excited. I'm happy about the Meganex now. Like, this is the headset I wanted all those months ago when I spent that $2,000+ I finally got the headset that is worth the $2,000+ I just wish it had eye tracking. But lately, I just been playing a lot of Cyberpunk VR. It's literally been like my main go-to for this headset because it's just beautiful. Like, the display looks nice. Kind of similar to the Bigscreen Beyond in terms of the HUD can be a little annoying, especially when playing Cyberpunk VR, but you can resize and stuff like that, so whatever. And if you want a tutorial on how to set that up in VR, go to my channel because I do have a tutorial that's mad easy to follow. Check that out. But Cyberpunk VR Flight Sim, I just feel really immersed using this headset right now. And it's kind of been my go-to because, I mean, one, tracking is great. Two, colors, vibrancy, the FOV is a lot better. The distortion profile is improved. I don't really have any complaints right now about the Meganex Superlight 8K. And that's why I'm happy I do follow reviews like this, so I can give you guys my journey with a VR headset. Like, obviously at first, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little bad about some of the stuff I said, but I mean, it was true at the time. That's how I felt. But would I recommend this headset for people right now? If you want a wired, lighthouse tracked headset, yeah, I would say the Meganex Superlight 8K might be worth it. And mind you, this is for people who have a pre-existing lighthouse setup, because if you don't, you're gonna have to spend hundreds more dollars with lighthouse tracking, Steam VR controllers. You know, like, it's good, but is it $2,300 or $2,400 good? No. But if you have a pre-existing lighthouse setup or something like that, you want to upgrade from like a Valve Index, Bigscreen Beyond, yeah, this is it. And if you're a Superlight 8K owner, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about the headset. Are you liking the headset? Or if you try something else and like that more? Are you using like Crystal Soup or Bigscreen Beyond 2? What are you using? That's pretty much the end of the video, guys. We're gonna have some VR glove stuff come up soon because we got sent some VR gloves from Higgs, so I can't wait to use these. Might be the first time I play VR chat in years. And this is the last video I'm gonna be able to do before I have a kid. So yeah, I'm having another kid if I haven't told you guys. Having a son, so might be the end of this week, if not the beginning of next week. So I might take a little break, you know, and then we'll come back and do the VR glove stuff. But yeah, we've been having a ball on the channel the past few months. I definitely gotta upgrade the way I do my reviews and stuff like that because I got people asking me, you know, calling me a shill, whatever. I understand, but we're gonna improve. We're gonna make sure we kind of just make the reviews better. That's definitely what I'm focusing on for the next quarter on the channel. And yeah, man, thank you guys so much for the support. We have grown a lot. We've gotten a lot of deals with a lot of companies. So we got to work with Pimax, Play for Dream, and maybe HTC in the future. We'll see. But it's even MartydudeVR. Remember, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.